The DeSantis campaign, having now seen this race called for Donald Trump, is calling it the media's election interference. Outrageous the media would participate in election interference before tens of thousands of Iowans even had a chance to vote. Is that fair?
You know, I have to say, I am empathetic to this argument, and I'll tell you why. When we do polling, we're very careful, if we're on the East Coast, not to release results which would negatively impact people turning out in the polls in later states on the West Coast and Hawaii and Alaska and elsewhere. Because of that very reason, I mean, there's nothing more important in the democratic process than voting. If we are, as pollsters, to take the media out of it, releasing results which then diminish turnout in later states, I do think that that is potentially problematic. So all of which to say, I will not be surprised if this call and the timing of this is revisited, maybe in some state houses where they say, listen, you've got to keep these things and these calls quiet at least until the polls close. I think that's a fair trade-off myself. I don't think Rick agrees with me, but...
Well, Rick, jump in here. Is this likely to change the mind of anyone who was sitting in a church, in a community room, talking with other people, and everybody's checking their phone saying, oh, they called it for Trump already. Well, I might as well support that guy. Do you think it changed minds in real time tonight?
Kayleigh, these are people who just got out of their nice, warm living rooms into a freezing car at 10 below zero.
Yeah.
They drove to a caucus site, which is usually a gymnasium of some kind, which is probably drafty and cold. And they did it because they supported one candidate. And when they got there, they went through a very quick registration process, and at the same time filled out a ballot and stuck it in a popcorn box, right? Which is how they collect these things in some places. And that means that somebody would have had to have that information in the very early stages of a caucus that started at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So with all due respect to the DeSantis camp, I mean, first of all, it's unlikely that someone who's committed to a candidate is going to just change because they heard something on AP.
Yeah.
And secondly, most of those ballots were probably done by 7:15, 7:30, before AP called it.